I got hooked, folks. I got hooked today. I fell into it. I fell into it. Fell into it pretty deep. Very much so. I tell you what. I had a plan today. I had a plan. To do a nice, change of pace Cleveland Guardians preview, at least for the season opener, and what the roster would look like, and maybe what some expectations are, things like that. And I'm trying to catch up in the morning, stuff happen, things like that. And obviously the night before, Russell Wilson signs with the Giants. Okay? So, here's a shocker. He picks New York over Cleveland. Oh my. Color me shocked. No big deal. I mean, okay, so now we know where Russell Wilson's going to go. And then now it's more likely that, Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers, that's where he's going to go. At least the Steelers or the Vikings. Probably it's looking more like the Steelers. I mean, I don't know why you spend 6 hours at a facility and then not necessarily sign a deal. So things are starting to fall into place. So, I tune into the irregular stuff. And, throughout the first part of the day, the consensus now is that it's a lock that Shedeur Sanders is going to be taken with the number 2 pick to the Browns. It's a lock. It's over. It's a said and done thing. We don't need to talk about nothing else. Doesn't matter. The Cleveland Browns are going to get their guy. Right? Because the whole Dion thing, that really didn't happen. All that, Dion doesn't get to dictate, where his son goes and all that stuff. I still call bullshit. But, hey, here we are. Shedeur, number 2, right? All right. Everybody needs to just fall in line, right? So, I'm still trying to get stuff prepared for today in this video. And it just doesn't, it never settles down. Like I had everything prepared to talk about the Cavs win last night, which they won, by the way, 122-111 against the Blazers. Does anybody care? No, because we've spent all day on this giant fucking circle jerk about the Browns. It's maddening, man. And I got hooked. I don't get hooked like this. And I don't know if it's just because I'm doing the YouTube thing now and I'm trying to consume as much information as I can possibly get. But all it is everybody's ideas and their theories and their takes and the whatnot. And it's insane. It's all insane. And it drives me insane because I've always been the type of person to not get in it. I don't get in it. I don't, until something happens, I don't like to react before anything happens. But this is insane, guys. This is all insane. Russ gets signed by the Giants. Yeah, okay. They could still want Sanders. Yeah, they got Jameis Winston to be the backup. Yeah, well, no shit. Like I've said before, Shedeur Sanders is going to have to develop. Just like any other rookie. They're going to have to develop. And Shedeur Sanders is not worthy of taking within the top 5. Yeah, you might need a quarterback. And this is a bad year to need a quarterback. But Sanders is going to need to work. He'll be the guy somewhere, some way, somehow, because he'll get drafted so high. But how many times do we have to do this? So, okay. Fair enough. Everything seems to be falling into place. So then I'm starting to get in my head that I'm going to have to say something about it, and this is where we're at. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Anything is a lock. Nothing's a lock until the pick is in. Until the Browns actually pick and take Sanders. Which I still don't believe is going to happen. So then I'm trying to gather all of this, still the information and everything that I need. And yeah, this is rookie. This is real rookie shit, right? I could see it now. Somebody, if anybody ever watches this goddamn video, this is just, this is new guy shit. He doesn't know what he's doing. You should have his stuff prepared, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get things ready and everything and prepared. And, and then this insane thing that comes out of the blue sky. Dak Prescott, it comes from Bruce Drennan, of all people, from Big Play Sports Network. And formerly of All Bets Are Off, Sports Time Ohio. It's very uncharacteristically for what I know of Bruce Drennan, to come out with like these insane things. Like he says he has an inside source. Now, unless he was joking around and just throwing it out there as a joke or something, like this is silly season, and he could say this, and he has a source and all this, and then somebody takes it and runs with it. But he comes out and says that he has this inside source with the Browns that, the key to getting Myles Garrett to re-sign was the fact that they were negotiating with Dallas for Dak Prescott. Which then set, everything on fire. Even myself, I even got hooked. I even reposted from, I think it was, the Dogs podcast. Them tweeting out the stuff from Big Play. And my reaction was, what? And then to come to find out, 45 minutes later, an actual reporter that has some inside sources themselves with the Cowboys said that's salary cap wise, it's not even possible for anybody, the Cowboys or the Browns. Which, if everybody took the time to slow down and take a fucking minute to think. But all anybody wants to do is just instantly react anymore. Everybody's reacting to nothing. Nothing is... I'm only in the middle of what the fuck happened today. what happened, and nothing happened. So the Dak rumor comes out, and like it makes zero sense, and people are like, what the fuck is going on here? And then, Adam Schefter, I don't know if it was on my timeline or if this is actually the actual timeline, but this is my day. So then I see Adam Schefter reports that the Browns aren't really sold on Shedeur Sanders at 2, and they're going to take Abdul Carter. It looks more likely the Browns will take Abdul Carter, which I'm a fan of. I'm all for that. I would, on the ranking of, here's my ranking: Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, trade down. And then if that trade down, even if it's like 6 or 8 or somewhere in the top 10, and you can still get Shedeur Sanders, fine. Then I'm good with it. But that's my ranking. Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter. That's where I'm at with this draft at number 2. And people can yell until they're blue in the face, but I don't give a fuck about Shedeur Sanders. And to me, this is all a fucking farce. Because here's what's going to probably happen, folks. We're not going to get Cam Ward. We're not going to get Abdul Carter. And we're not going to get Travis Hunter. We're going to trade down and end up taking like Will Campbell or an offensive tackle. Because that's what the Browns do. So get prepared for all that. And then you'll get and then it'll probably be Jalen Milroe. Bookmark it. Please watch this. Somebody watch this fucking video because I've got it recorded now. Somebody's got me I've got myself on actual video saying this shit. With that said, and I'm going to get back to this in a minute, but I have to say, welcome to Believelandia. I am Jim Myers. Please like and subscribe. Please. And thank you. If you watch this video, just hit the like button. If somehow, some way this has found people and you actually was like, cool, I'll watch it. Like, I'm not a fucking professional sports network. I'm just a fan, right? I get it. But, how many times do you got to get told from former pro athletes or, people that watch, that lock themselves in a closet and watch fucking film for 12 hours a day and break down film until, they can't really even tell who's who. I'm just me. I'm just here. I'm a fan. I'm 44. I've been watching for fucking forever. I know my sports. I just don't understand what the fuck is going on anymore. I'm trying to do like a fun fan sports show. And I'm trying to get all these thoughts and things together, and we've got the fucking Browns and this fucking carny ass bullshit. Nothing has happened. And I can't even really blame the Browns. It's the goddamn media. I don't even think it's the media. It's just radio shows and just sports shows regionally. And yeah, they're just reacting and all this shit, but man, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. And maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just getting old. But this shit is old. I mean, and like I said, I'm not even done with what the fuck happened with the Browns talk today. I'm trying to put together trying to figure out, not try to figure out, but try to jot down the starting rotation and the fucking lineup and the roster, the opening day roster for the Guardians. To have a nice, little fan preview, something else to fucking talk about other than the goddamn Browns. God damn, man. Welcome to Believelandia. I should have just called it Brownslandia. Right there. More BS about the Browns. That's how we're leading off. I wanted to lead off with the Cavs. But here we are. So after the Schefter report about Abdul Carter with Schefter, and I kind of agree. I think it's more of a because ESPN likes to do this and they love to do this, and I think and it happens every year. Like Jackson Dart's part of this. Like I talked about in an earlier video, Malik Willis, that one year, who everybody, all of a sudden, does anybody remember Malik Willis from Liberty? I mean, he's starting to get reps in, but this is what, year 3 or 4 for him? And people are, they like his play, but like, is he? He's been traded already. He's got traded to the Packers. Like, man. Yeah, I'm going off here. This is nobody watched, so who fucking cares? But in my introductory, I mentioned that I can go on these big ass rants, and today is the day, guys. Today is the day. Today is episode 5, I believe. So here we are. It only took 5 fucking episodes. So then after the Abdul Carter thing from Adam Schefter, like I said, I think this might be a push for like ESPN, because they're obviously out of fucking New York. Oh, I'm sorry, Bristol, but their main studio's in New York, everybody. Jesus Christ. So to me, it seems like that the big push for Shedeur Sanders is for him to go to New York. Which, so does Deion Sanders. But no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. They all want to go to Cleveland. They want to be like LeBron, right? They want to be like LeBron. They could be like LeBron in Cleveland. No, they can't. So after the Abdul Carter thing, then come out reports that Jimmy Haslam himself and Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, the big contingent for the Browns front office, they privately met with Cam Ward in Miami. Just like the Tennessee Titans. Now, I'm going to ask a question. So this got reported. I forget by who, and I mean, it was everywhere. So this comes out, right? And this, I forget who this comes from, but it got around, so it had to come from someplace major. So this comes out. But yet, Shedeur Sanders is the lock. He's locked in at number 2, right? I mean, according to everybody in the Cleveland side of media, you know, Russell Wilson signed with New York, and so did Jameis Winston. So, I mean, the Browns gotta select Sanders, right? It's a lock. It's a lock. That's all I heard today. It's a lock. Wrap it up. Everybody needs to get on board, or whatever. And then, funny enough, you know, then this Dak stuff comes out. Then Schefter comes out with the Abdul Carter thing, and then the Cam Ward thing. But here's a question: where are the reports that the Browns met with Shedeur Sanders, like, privately again? I mean, yeah, they brought him in. You know, they brought him into Cleveland and met with him here. But where are the reports that if they are so locked in on Shedeur Sanders, like they are with Cam Ward, which I have said again, previous videos that weren't that long ago. It's Cam Ward or bust for the Browns. If they can't get Cam Ward, it's going to be Abdul Carter or it's going to be a trade down. I'm not going to rule out all that being a smokescreen to get Travis Hunter, because if you kind of read between the lines from the Combine press conference, Andrew Berry talked a long time about what he liked about Travis Hunter, and he was the only guy to come out. From what I understand, he's about the only GM that come out of those press conferences that liked him at wide receiver. Not that I want him to play wide receiver. I mean, you could use him as a weapon on wide receiver because the Browns don't have any weapons other than Jerry Jeudy. And then I have here in my notes that by the time that I get to the end of this, that might all change by the time I was done typing. And I haven't, I shit you not, I was so worn out of trying to backtrack this stuff and like get a timeline in place. Like everything all just went to hell and I had to take a break for like the whole goddamn day. I shit you not. This stuff is so fucking mentally taxing. It is literally insanity. I don't even know how a lot of these podcasts do this, even with teams of people. Like, fucking for real, man. I mean, you literally have to be on some form of social media at all points of the day. You can't take a break. You can't just chill out for a second. Nothing. You can't even like work on your own thing. Like I was doing here with notes and getting, I'm actually working to try to make this thing better and have somewhat of a notable format and, you know, talk about the Cavs and the Browns and the Guardians and step 1 and step 2 and step 3. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better for me. I'm trying to get better for you. I'm trying. But Jesus Christ. I mean, I tried to do, I had all the intentions of doing this podcast. I don't know if we can even call it a podcast because it's just me talking. I guess that's what we're calling just talking. But man, I just wanted to come on here and, you know, do these things as a fan and just kind of give my thoughts and reactions because I don't I don't normally passionately respond, especially like I'm doing now. Maybe I should probably more often, I suppose, because it's probably way more entertaining for everybody else. I will say, venting out these frustrations is kind of therapeutic, to be quite honest with you. But I've been trying to keep. I have all the intention of trying to keep these things to a half hour, 30 minutes, and I'm already 26 minutes in. And all I've done is talk about. I've said the Cavs won, probably little less, probably 20 some hours ago. The stuff with the Browns. I mean, I'm not going. This is probably one of the few times that you're going to get it because I got hooked today. I've got to let it fly. I only really want to react to something that when something actually happens, like trading for Kenny Pickett, or you know, I'm still waiting on the Kirk Cousins trade, which everybody now seems to think that that's going to happen. Which if it let's book it right now. If the Kirk Cousins trade happens, if that happens, the Shedeur Sanders thing will not happen at number 2. They have a Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, Will Howard, somewhere along those lines. A later draft pick, second, third round quarterback in line that is going to sit behind Kirk Cousins and then let Kenny Pickett and this rookie battle it out. Because, they get rid of Kenny Pickett, it isn't going to be a big deal. But, Kenny Pickett's probably just an insurance policy in case other things don't fall through. And then they just go into next year with Kenny Pickett as the quarterback. They get through it, have a shitty season. They're going to have a shitty season anyway. And then 2026, that's a way better quarterback class to get a quarterback. Instead of it just being Cam Ward, and then that's it. That's how I feel about it. I mean, I'm not here to shit on Shedeur Sanders. He's a very accurate player. He probably has the better mentality to be a professional athlete because, I'm sure his dad has probably really put him in the right mindset. And I'm not saying that it couldn't work in Cleveland. It's just the expectations if he comes to Cleveland are so insurmountable. Somebody like Shedeur Sanders, I'm not saying you have to coddle to him. And I'm not saying he's like Johnny Manziel because I think he's not that way. I'm sure his dad has taught him a really good work ethic as far as preparation. Shit on Deion Sanders however you want, but the dude they called him primetime for a goddamn reason. And he's a Hall of Famer. So I'm not here to shit on that. It's just breaking it down to, I'm just a realist, everybody. And, I've seen it time and time and time and time again. And I know LeBron James did it, but LeBron James, he's in this God tier as far as professional athletes. But he's from Ohio, and yeah, he went to Miami, and we all didn't like that at all. But he had to learn how to do it and win championships and be in a different mentality. And he had to get out of this sphere to really understand it. And then once he understood it and knew how to do it, he knew he could come back and do it. And he fulfilled a promise that he made. And for that, he'll be a legend and an Ohio athletic god here in Ohio. At least he knows he can come back to Ohio and just be, just like any like every other athlete. But guys like even Kevin Love, even Kyrie Irving. You bring a championship to this city, to Cleveland, man. You ain't got to worry about a meal. You ain't got to worry about shit. In this entire state. With that said, people like the Sanders, they don't understand. They don't get it. They like the glitz and they like the glamour. They want New York. Oh yeah, well his dad's in Colorado. Yeah, but here's the thing. Look what they've done. And Colorado knew it, and they're desperate. And Primetime knows that. It's too much. Like if he goes to New York, it's not a sideshow. You ain't gotta. In New York, everything's a sideshow. In Cleveland, we just want you to focus on football. Shedeur Sanders isn't gonna. He's gonna focus on football, but he's not living it. It's not living it, breathing it, eating it. He likes the celebrity of it. And I'm sure his dad has cautioned him about all that and also taught him how to embrace all that. Probably the right ways. His dad has too. He embraced it. And they were never really distractions. I mean, he played for the fucking Cowboys. And if you watched the Cowboys in the 90s, everything they did was a distraction. Michael Irvin, Larry Allen, Dion. They were cocaine cowboys. I'm just saying. There was accusations and there was a lot of shit going on. And a lot of undocumented Troy Aikman stories that are pretty wild. And, Emmitt Smith was just the quiet guy hanging out in the background. But, if you saw how that team rolled, there's a reason why everybody loved him. Either everybody loved him or everybody hated him. And there's a good reason for that. They were at least good enough to back up all the noise and all of it. They lived in it. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying Shador is prime time, and I'm sure prime time has Dion does not want his son to be like him. He probably wants him to have his confidence and all that, but yeah, man. And that sounds like I'm putting Shador in with his dad, and it's all the same, but it's like if the Browns were to draft him, I'm not going to be begging for him to start. I'm just not. He's going to have to prove it. And if he does, and hey, I thought Baker was just cocky from coming from Oklahoma. I was not sold. I got on board with Baker when he came in with the Jets, and we unlocked the freezers or the beer fridges, and we went to the playoffs. We slayed a dragon and against the Steelers that nobody from Pittsburgh wants to talk about. And Baker come in and did a lot of things. But like Shador Sanders, though, like Baker and Shador Sanders, they are above average quarterbacks that can take you to the playoffs. But you have to surround him with elite impact playmakers in order for it to work. And to John Dorsey's credit, he tried to do that. Problem was they didn't have the coaching. And then that cost people their jobs. And then it all went to shit from there. And, that's the same thing, too. Everybody loved Odell Beckham coming in and getting traded for. But even in the immediate aftermath of the trade, there was all these rumors that he really didn't want to be in Cleveland. He didn't really want to be in Cleveland. And then we went, 2 or 3 years of it. No matter what. He could have a really great game or he could get hurt, and then you'd hear these little murmurs. He never wanted to be in Cleveland anyway. Never wanted to be in Cleveland. He doesn't want to be in Cleveland. He's trying to get out of Cleveland. He wants somebody to trade for him. He's doing everything he can just to get released. And then what happens? He's gone. He goes to the Rams, wins the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't have to rehash this shit, but sometimes I think, especially on days like today, people need to be reminded of this shit. So yeah, that's my thoughts. And we need to be done with the bullshit around here. Every time somebody tweets something or murmurs something or, I get the sense that this is going to happen, or I get the sense that this is going to happen. I keep hearing that they like this guy a little more than this guy, and da. Look, guys, until something actually fucking happens, let's stop reacting before the shit happens. And today is a perfect example of shit like that. Like, you've got people on podcasts and doing videos and radio shows, and they're all coming to these certain conclusions because one guy signed here, and this guy, and all we got left is like Carson Wentz and Kirk Cousins might happen. The Atlanta Falcons have made it known that they'd like to still keep Kirk Cousins. Until that changes. I mean, I thought I saw something about Kirk Cousins actually saying that he would like to go somewhere to start. And he's running out of options there. So, look, I'm going to make a promise that this is the last time that I'm reacting to anything before anything happens. I will talk about the draft when it's appropriate to talk about the draft. Right now, pro days are happening, and this guy doesn't even participate in a pro day. Is he even working out for anybody? Does he work out? Is he actually going to show people that he can throw a ball other than the fucking Travis Hunter? Because apparently he can't. For those of us that didn't really watch Colorado football, but if you live where I live, he's always on fucking Fox for about the first 6 weeks of any season. And then when I do, and I watch him in prime time in games that they should win, he's throwing 4 fucking interceptions and running backwards instead of forwards. And I don't need to watch 12 hours of fucking tape to fucking figure that out. I'm tired. I'm tired of this. It's just bullshit, and it's not even the Browns' fault. It's just everybody that covers the Browns. Until something happens, let's stop reacting to shit before anything even happens. We all want to be the Adam Schefters. We all want to be these people that fucking can predict all this shit. It's fucking ridiculous, man. And unless you have inside sources and understand the way the team thinks and what their process is, even if they have a fucking process. All I can tell you is, as a process of a Browns fan and the shit that I've seen the last 20 some years, here's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to get so excited to have Shedeur Sanders and Dion in prime time coming to Cleveland. Yeah. Let's go. What's going to happen? We're going to trade. I'm going to tell you a story. Draft day. One of the worst draft days in the history of draft days. I forget the year, but I know who it was. I forget the year. And forgive me about not having my fucking facts straight. If you want to go find facts, there's plenty of other goddamn analysis guys that give you all the fucking stats that they want, that you could ever fucking dream of for. I forget the year. It was the Julio Jones year. I was so excited because we were finally going to draft what I had thought like one of the major missing pieces for the Browns to actually be a playoff contender. Julio Jones. One of the best wide receiver prospects probably since Keyshawn Johnson, when he went number 1 to the Jets. Way back in the day, before many people were born at this point. And back then, I was in my 20s. I was so fired up. I shit you not, and I don't buy a lot of jerseys. I was going to buy a fucking Julio Jones jersey before the draft because it was such a goddamn given. I believe they were picking 4th. And then guess what happened, everybody? We get to draft day. You're all set. You sit down. You have your beers. You're all set. And they traded down. They traded down. I think twice that year. They did. They traded down twice because that was I don't want to I'm going to look it up. Bear with me. I'm going to look it up. Julio Jones draft. Sorry. Draft. The 2011 draft, everybody. The 2011 NFL draft. Held on April 28th through the 30th. 2011. That was the year Cam Newton. Cam Newton went number 1. Von Miller went 2. Marcel Darius, big defensive tackle out of Alabama, went 3rd. A.J. Green went 4th. I'm sorry, the Browns didn't have the 4th pick. They had the 6th pick. Yeah. Patrick Peterson went to the Cardinals. And then Julio Jones went 6th. Here's a fun name. Here's a draft name for everybody. Jake Locker from Washington went number 8 to the Titans. Jake Locker is a top 10 drafted quarterback. Leave a comment for me if you even know who the fuck Jake Locker is. So when we sit here and talk about Shedeur Sanders and all these guys, just remember Jake fucking Locker went 8. He went before Blaine Gabbert went number 10 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which the Jaguars traded up to number 10 to get Blaine Gabbert at number 10. Cam Newton, like another Cam we know, Cam Ward, was the clear-cut number 1 pick. And then you had all these guys talking up Jake Locker and Blaine Gabbert. You want to know why I get PTSD when we sit here and talk about Jackson fucking Dart and Shedeur Sanders? That's where this shit comes from. So yeah, Cleveland traded down from number 6 that clearly could have selected Julio Jones, which they very much needed. They traded all the way down. They traded down from 6 I forget. It doesn't say where they went. They went down. I swear the Browns traded down twice because it says 21 from Kansas City. So I'm trying to figure out where. I wanted to say they dropped to the Browns dropped to 12 or something. And then they traded with Kansas City again. Where was Kansas City? Or did Kansas City? Either way. Anyway, the Browns traded all the way down to 21 to draft Phil fucking Taylor. You guys, this is where my Browns PTSD starts. At least as far as I could remember, after all the haze of beer and idiocy. Oh yeah. Now I'm looking through number 12. Christian Ponder. You want to know where J.J. Watt went? Number 11 to the Houston Texans. The Jacksonville Jaguars selected Blaine Gabbert over J.J. Watt. The Tennessee Titans could have picked J.J. Watt. They picked Jake Locker instead. For real. For real. That's real life. That happened. Christian Ponder went 12 to the Vikings. The Browns all the way, by the way, traded down and decided to skip all this. They were like, peace, we're out. We don't want anything to do with it. We want Phil fucking Taylor. Now, granted, Phil Taylor was a very solid player. He was a very large man. He was a very suitable defensive tackle. But the Browns needed a lot more than a defensive tackle that year. Wow. There was a lot more similarities than what I was even getting into a lot about that. Well, I'm kind of sad that I had to do that. But, you know, there it is, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Be prepared. Just prepare yourself. Stop hanging your wagon on to just a guy. You can like Shedeur, like for me, like I just listed it earlier. You know, Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, or Travis Hunter. I'll be happy with that at 2. If you can give me any one of those guys at 2, I'd be very happy with the draft. If that's not suitable, then you need to trade down. I'll still be upset because you just passed up Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. But to take a guy, a Jake Locker or a Blaine Gabbert or a Marcus Mariota, I don't want to be that team. And you're going to be that team because you don't have the number 1 pick, guys. And we need to have the number 1 pick if we intend to get that type of quarterback. This isn't last year's draft where you had multiple guys that were solid enough that you could take. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be that guy, and I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy with the number 1 pick saying, guys, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to get Cam Ward. Or the guy, you know, no, because I I didn't want to be the number one team last year, to be honest with you. I wasn't sold on Jaden Daniels. I didn't know enough about him. I just thought it was pretty crazy that he came out of nowhere to win the Heisman and then do what he did. But but there's a lot more behind the scenes that made it right for the Commanders. You know, Dan Quinn is a very good head coach. They brought in smartly Cliff Kingsbury to be the offensive coordinator because whether it was Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, they were comfortable with either or guy because they brought in a guy that was comfortable coaching them. And there's familiarity with the offense with either guy. We don't have that. We've got Pat fucking Shurmur with the familiarity. That's how he's linked. I don't know about you guys, but Pat Shurmur was the worst head coach in Browns football fucking history. Not named Hugh Jackson. The guy's grand idea of a dynamic offense was to run up the middle every fucking play with Willis McGahee. With Willis McGahee, an older Willis McGahee and no offensive line. Especially no offensive guards or a center that you could fundamentally run up the middle. I've went a full hour, guys, on this shit. You're welcome. Now this is going to take all fucking morning to just even upload. So anyway, before 10 minutes runs out and we run into the morning, I'm going to move on. Because that's it. I'm sure I'll have more to fucking say, but today was a goddamn day. And I just needed to hit record. I guess this is what they're talking about when you just need to hit record. This is it. Boy, oh boy. Let's talk about the Cavs. Let's talk something good. Cavs beat the Blazers. Good stuff. Even without Donovan Mitchell, Garland had 27 points. Ty Jerome had 25 points off the bench. Devin Mobley had 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Jared Allen even had 14 points and 8 rebounds. Sam Merrill, I guess, got the start at point guard, and Garland had the 2 guard. Merrill had 14 points. And DeAndre Hunter had 11 off the bench. Good stuff. It's the Blazers. I guess the Blazers gave him a pretty good game. But, Cavs are, back into it a little bit. They kind of shaking that funk off. I believe they got one more game. I forget where. Don't ask me. I don't know. We're going to look it up any goddamn way because now I got to know. Believelandia, everybody. Subscribe and like. This is where you go for all your information that I have on the ready. Tomorrow against the Spurs, 7:00. Subscribe within your Amazon Prime subscription. Subscribe to Amazon Prime and then subscribe to the FanDuel Sports Network. I'm not plugging that because you're insane if you have a subscription inside a subscription. For me, it's free. See? It's just free. Just subscribe. It's free. Unless you're going to pay for YouTube Premium. then it's probably not free. But like for me, I'm not even big enough to have people join. So I just give you shit for free, which I would probably do anyway. If I ever become cool enough and you can like join to the Believelandia club or what the fuck ever, it might be a couple bucks just because so I can make a couple bucks. We're probably not going to get that far, are we? But yeah, everybody's happy again. We've won 2 in a row. Insert your major league reference. If you win 2 in a row and we win 1 more, that means we're on another winning streak. Yay! It has happened before. Like a couple weeks ago. So everybody can just be happy and just let's get to the end of the season. There's 10 games left. Let's fucking go. Let's get to the playoffs. I don't need I don't need another 10-game winning streak. Let's just keep everybody's health, and let's just keep playing good basketball. Win more games than you lose, and let's just go in as the 1 seed. Get home court. That people aren't talking about that enough, but that's huge for the Cavs. That is very huge for the Cavs. If they can play at home and have the home court advantage, that's big. That's bigger than I think a lot of people are even given any steam to. But whatever. Keep sleeping on the Cavs, everybody. Just keep sleeping. Keep finding fucking reasons, Kendrick Perkins. Keep finding fucking reasons. Just keep finding fucking reasons to keep sleeping. They haven't done it. They haven't won anything. They haven't done anything. Their backcourt's too small. This and that. They're too weak. They're too soft. Keep fucking talking, man. I'm not saying the Cavs are going to win the championship, but, you know, I'm also not saying anybody else is going to win the fucking championship either, because there's nobody that is a clear, you know, nobody else has a chance. No matter what Kendrick Perkins tries to fucking say about how dominant the Celtics are. The fuck out of here. All right, so that was the Cavs game. Watch in about 5 minutes. Watch later tonight. Or tomorrow night. We'll just keep saying tomorrow night. All right, guys. So, like what I have on the thumbnail, and I'm not redoing it, but I came here in the fucking first place to talk about the Cleveland Guardians. And all I can tell you is I was talking about Shane Bieber and Tristan McKenzie, and come to find out, Tristan McKenzie isn't even starting in the rotation. He's been relegated to the bullpen, which might not be a bad thing because Emmanuel Clase apparently still does not look right. And for whatever happened in Detroit in the first round of the playoffs there, he doesn't look right. And he still doesn't look right. And that ain't good. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. But hey, we say this every year. They don't look like they don't look great. They don't on paper. It's like it all right, insert your major league GIF. I call it GIF, not a GIF. GIF is a J. GIF is a GIF with a G. Like gift, how you spell gift, but without the T, so it's GIF. but you can call it Jiff. There is no right or wrong way to say it, I guess. I mean, we all speak in letters anyway. We don't even, instead of saying what the fuck, we say what WTF. I'm old. I know. It's all right. But just saying, we can't even speak in sentences anymore. So you do you, I suppose. But insert your major league gif of who the fuck are these guys? Who are these fucking guys? I don't know. I should probably have that shit on the ready by now. But, like I said, my plans today got all fucked up with all the Browns talk. All right, starting rotation. Number one pitcher, Tanner Bybee. That guy. That guy. Number two is Gavin Williams. If you don't remember Gavin Williams, well, congratulations. Neither did I until I remembered Gavin Williams started against the Yankees and did all right. Luis Ortiz is the third pitcher. Louie. Oh, no. I'll stop. I'm sorry. Ben Lively is the fourth man in the rotation, which I guess a lot of people are saying they are all on board with Ben Lively. I don't know who Ben Lively is. I'm sorry. Like I said, folks, basketball is my 1A and football is my 1B. And then baseball is very bottom low third. I mean, until I understand why the Guardians play the money ball deal, and they go bargain binning, and they do really well as far as scouting, and they always get these guys that nobody, like, I'm sitting here going, who are these guys? But then by the end of the year, they're in the playoff hunt, they're winning divisions, and sometimes they go to the fucking World Series. So I'm not hating on them too much, but every year it's just tough to get too excited, especially when it's still cold, a little cold outside, and they're going to be playing through the time it starts to get warm, and then really warm, and then cold again. So it's a long way to go. So I get happy about baseball being back because that means the weather's going to get warm. But anyway, Logan Allen is your fifth guy. Notice I have not said Shane Bieber, who was a Cy Young winner, All-Star, one of the main guys on the Gardindians, the Gardos. Shout out Emmett Golden, Gardos all the time, man. Gardos all the time. Shane Bieber, dude, is listed as the sixth guy. So He won't be in the rotation, but he will give spot starts to whoever needs a rest. That's the way I understand it. All right. In the bullpen, obviously I talked about Clase being the closer. Tristan McKenzie is also in the bullpen. Hunter Gaddis, Cade Smith, Tim Herron, Paul Seward, Jacob Junis, Joey Cantillo, Eric Sebrowski, Slade Sessione, and currently on IL, injured list. I forgot. It's not the DL anymore. Sam Henches. I could not tell you from Tim Herron after that. I could not tell you that I remember any of those guys. But cool. I mean, Tristan McKenzie might help out in the bullpen. I mean, the way they use their bullpen anymore, they almost need to be like half starters. Because for whatever reason, they like to use. They only let the starters go 4 innings, and then they bring in another reliever, and then another reliever, and then another reliever, and then another reliever, and then we get to Clase. And that's if we can get to Clase anymore. Catchers Bo Naylor and Austin Hedgie, which I love. I'm still waiting on Bo Naylor to turn into that big hitter that we absolutely needed, and he was going to be the guy that everybody was saying. All the baseball experts were saying, "Oh, he's the guy." Still waiting. Carlos Santana is going on his 3rd stint, everybody. Speaking of, that's a nice segue. From first base, he's back. What is it, third or 4th stint? And he was the superstar catcher that was going to be the next guy that they traded for the Dodgers, from the Dodgers. And Carlos Santana was going to be the next big catcher, and he ended up being thrown to first base, which, I mean, worked out for him better. First base, Carlos. Kyle Manzardo, which is everybody, he's the fan favorite. I think more for his mustache than anything. Oh boy. Big Christmas. Jahansky Noel. Big dude. Became legend. Went legend in the playoffs last year. Happy he's back. They'll be in a rotation also with David Fry, who's also on the injured list at first base. Second base, Gabriel Arias. Sorry. He is replacing the gone and probably soon to be forgotten, because I've already forgot his name, our all-star second baseman that we traded to the Blue Jays. I do know that. I forget his name. It's late, guys. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be a Guardians Day, and I just totally poo-pooed that one. But anyway, yeah, you'll see plenty of other shit tomorrow. You probably even skip this fucking video and won't even watch it for it. Daniel Sheenman is the backup. At third base, there is no other than Jose Jose Ramirez. At shortstop, Brian Rocky. Let's just call him Rocky. Can we call him Rocky? Or is that too Philly thing? Can we call him Rocky? I think we can call him Rocky. He's a solid shortstop, I suppose. He's good. Good defensive shortstop. Gold Glove, I believe. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Stephen Kwan. Speaking of Gold Gloves, Stephen Kwan. We got Stephen Kwan still, everybody. He's still here. Center fielder. The legend, Lane Thomas. Everybody remembers the home run that he hit in the playoffs, too. And then recently acquired again. The big, very big outfielder that hopefully can provide some goddamn power to this lineup, Nolan Jones. If anybody remembers him from his first time. And everybody's like, who the fuck is this guy? He's so big. And then he hit a few home runs, and then we traded him to the Rockies. And then we traded back for him. And then Big Christmas is also going to be in that right field rotation in the outfield. And then I would expect Nolan Jones. They have Kyle Manzardo at DH primarily. And then Nolan Jones and Noel and definitely Carlos Santana. And that is your 2025 Cleveland Guardians. Gardenians, Gardos all the time. Gardos all the time. Gardos all the time. I am very sleepy, and I'm very slap happy right now. It's okay. It's all right, right? Nobody's fucking watching anyway, right? Right. Until somebody does and they go, look at this fucking guy. Shout out to anybody that I've ever known and you actually watch this. Probably not. It's all right. It's all right. So that's it, guys. I'm way over, as usual, like a whole goddamn hour from what I intended to do. But I had to, it was one of those things where I just absolutely had to hit record today. At some point, whenever I got to it, it was fucking terrible. I had it with the Brown shit, and I just needed to unload that. Unload it to upload it. Is the thing. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed the rant and vent session tonight, whenever you see it. Tomorrow, in the future, maybe even a year from now. From the past to the future, hello. I hope I'm still here. I hope. All you can do is hope. Believeland. Believelandia. Believe in Believelandia. I'll get used to the camera thing at some point. Okay. All right. Sorry. So yeah, I had to get on here and I had to just let it all go. They said the best thing to do is hit record when you get in those type of moods, and I kind of paid attention to that advice now. So, if you would like to see any more of those, I mean, I'm not very good at venting or doing all that type of shit and ranting on like Facebook and Instagram, and maybe that's what I should do more of, is do some fucking angry, shaky Instagram shorts. Seems to work for a lot of other fucking people in other spaces, so. And then they get all mad because people get mad at them because they yell for no reason, and they get all angry, and it's just sports. And it's not even, for me, it's not even the sport. Like I said, it's not even the Browns' fault. It's other people going just bananas over just the dumbest fucking thing. Like a fart in the wind. And people will just like, oh my God, it's a gas cloud. Hey, oi, oi. Not even a mountain out of a molehill. It's a fucking fart in the wind, and they call it a gas cloud. All right, everybody. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, mostly Facebook and or Instagram, probably preferable because that's I'm kind of narrowing it all down. And before you know it, it's probably just going to be Facebook and Instagram because I don't know. I can't keep up, guys. I guess I need to find a bunch of kids to fucking handle my social media, I suppose. But I ain't got that fucking much money to do. I guess that's why you should hire kids because I'm sorry, interns. Then I'm just like the fucking corporate machine, though. You know, it's not how we're rolling anymore. All right, kids, older folks, peers, everybody else. Like and subscribe if you happen to see this video, if you're one of the very few that actually want to give a shit. I mean, I give a shit, and you should give a shit. I mean, you don't have to really give. You know what? You do, again, you do you. You want to go, you want to primarily hang on to whatever, Tony Rizzo wants to, hang on to because he loves Shador or, everybody else loves fucking Shador. Go ahead. You do you. Live your life. Live your life. On that note, you may see me tomorrow. That was the intention today, and then that shit happened, so I guess it depends on what happens 12 hours from now, I suppose. But I will see you tomorrow. If not, definitely I'll see you when I see you. I'm sorry, Emmett Golden. I probably stole that one too, but I can't steal that one. I can't go out like that, can I? So I'll see you when I see you. We'll see you on the next one. We'll see you down the road. Either way, have a good night, and we'll see you later. I was going to say peace, and then I fucked it up. Peace.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe There's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it, and I know